So one of the biggest complaints about the new Bloxburg map is how most of the town buildings are empty. Like, it is literally a ghost town. So obviously I'm gonna take it upon myself to design interiors for the new town buildings. Now, I'm not gonna do all of them. I'm not flipping Jesus, okay? I cannot decorate an entire town. But I have got a particular street in mind. And sorry guys, it takes me 1,000 years to get here because of the speed limit. But this here is the street that I would like to be decorating. As you can see, they're reasonably sized and there's 3 of them. So the video won't just be 2 seconds long. Now, what I'm planning is this one could be like a cute cafe. Maybe that could be my dungeon where I trap people who don't pay. I mean, what? I didn't say that. Flipping hell, it's actually massive. And then I was thinking this here could be like, I don't know, a greengrocer or post office or one or t'other. And then this is giving me dentist vibe. This actually looks like the dentist I go to in real life.
You're like, John, this time you're wrong.
So yeah, those are my ideas. Enough flipping rambling, Reese's. Let's get started. We're just gonna start the town buildings like here. I think 6 blocks is more than enough to put in some fake looking pathway and, you know, this down here. In fact, wow, wait.
I was just thinking, why wait for the weekend? It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
No, but seriously, why wait? Let's just put in the brick. So I did discover that the color that's been used around the Bloxburg map is oyster. Guys, I actually flew inside the buildings and I got screenshots. So as you can see, like, this is the average size. They don't go back too far. And then if we switch our angles, flipping now, mate. Goes back as well, ages. And this one has the weirdest shape I've ever seen. And I don't really care how far this one goes back. I'm just doing that however I'll blim in, please. But at least the buildings are flat, guys. So I don't have to be worried about no witchcraft and wizardry building these up. Ta-da! Why is this lamppost in my way, babes? You have picked the worst spot to put this lamppost, mate. This versus the real one. Looking pretty similar. Also, don't know why this limo is here. Mayor Tom does not drive around in a limo, mate. Have you seen that hoodie he's been reusing for 9 years? Skank. Learn to wash.
You just got burned.
So next up is going to be the windows, and I'm actually low-key scared for these.
Actually, maybe we should do the colour first. So I'm not even lying. It looks like they've used the dirt stain texture. It's like the yellowy dirt. Now, these ones are easy. That's plain green and white paddles. I know them paddles anywhere because I use them in all my houses. Or is it camo or is it parsley green? And then this one has used the new bricks. Now, whilst we are placing these in, at the beginning, I said this was one of the most hated parts of the update. And let's talk about why. I get it's frustrating, like, we've got an amazing new town, but not really any new buildings. Again, we do not have flipping Jesus and his disciples working on this. I don't know exactly how big the team is, but I'm pretty sure it's not like millions of people. And they have been working on this for such a long time, guys. Like, they have added everything they can. That's sort of the reason why, if you were curious. Now, do you know what I'm curious about? How come they can get this to look flat on their buildings? On mine, what is that then? That is actually not fair. Anyway, I think I got the right color straight up on the get-go. And then they've got like another one here, but it's a little bit unfair how they've done that. Look, they've got an icicle on the top. Please at least say the roof shingle goes the right way. It does. And I love how this video is about the interiors. So I just sped up me doing the windows because ain't no one need to see me placing these. And there we go, guys. So most of the windows are in, but you may or may not have noticed I've left the bottom ones. That's because the bottom windows are very curious. Like, do we have these? We do not have those doors. Bloxburg, give us those doors, okay? Unless that's the glass sliding ones. I think that's what I'm gonna have to add there. Also, these windows, the only thing that I can possibly think that is the square one. So I did want to just show you guys, for some reason, if you wanted to create this yourself, if you are as insane as me, then like I say, it must just be the clear ones, yeah? We'll place that there and like widen it a little bit. Is that it? But we've got to now add in that like dangly diggly thing. What the hell are they called? I can never know, guys. This is the one thing in Bloxburg I have to actually search for. A scalloped fabric awning. I can't even pronounce it, guys, let alone find this. That has got to be like the most detailed name of anything. And I specifically remember this being a French door. Do you guys? Because this is where we like did the intro and I was like, let's go. And also I remember this actually was a double French door. One eternity later. And we're here, guys. We actually did it. We actually did it. We finally got the exterior in. And I'm sorry, this looks pretty much exact. Other than this white line pushing through. Here we go. This actually does genuinely feel like I'm walking down the Bloxburg street. Obviously, these are normally mirrored, so I get to see my beautiful reflection instead of this. But now we can get started with the interior. And as I said, up first, the dentist room. Sorry guys, I'm a little bit thirsty. So we now officially do not have to reference any other picture. Oh my gosh, I feel so free. Well, I guess before we go willy-nilly placing floors in mental all over the shop, this should obviously be the reception. Dentists are notorious for having massive receptions. And obviously, because this is such like a good glass feature, it should all be one room. Now we've got to remember it's 3 stories high. So in fact, I'm thinking I might treat us to an elevator rather than a staircase. We're just gonna have like one treatment room down here or whatever the hell they're called. And why have I got a ramp? Hashtag disability friendly. No, I want the elevator instead. Now this can have, I guess, another waiting room with another 2 treatment rooms. And if you go up to the top, I guess that layout works. So we can just do it again. And what fresh hell is this? The glitching are endless. Guys, I did report it to Froggy Hops. I wrote a little message and let's see if they fix it, okay? Hopefully they do. In terms of the flooring and the roofing in here, I think the floors in the waiting room can be like just a typical modern, maybe like that, flint. And when it comes to the actual rooms themselves, I was actually thinking like a diagonal marble. Now, if we go back, I know I said no more reference pictures, but these ones are different. What is that? My eyesight if I keep staring at my screen all day.
I'm blind.
Oh my god, why are all of these such bad quality? What the hell? Okay, I guess we don't have any inspiration pictures. What I'm gonna do though is we're gonna have a really nice like dark navy theme going on here. Navy all the way around the front. And I actually think a dentist would be so good for role plays. And I'm trying to think like what would the Bloxburg devs do if they did make this a dentist? Would it be granite going like all the way around the house? Oh, sorry, not house, dentist. So next up, we need to make a desk for Kristen. And have you guys been seeing those videos? It's so bad, but it's one of the funniest TikTok pages to me, where they like pretend that it's their dad on the phone and they're trying to like pick up a prescription from like the dentist.
What is your date of birth?
I've been trying to get my ball on me. I need help right now. Somebody help.
Oh my god, imagine these poor people are just trying to do their job and they get that. And I feel like dentists and like orthodontists are so rich, and that is why I know what the dentist looks like so much, guys. I've been to the dentist so much this year. Not that I've got like ratty teeth, I actually think I've got quite nice teeth. I've just been a lot this year, and then obviously before that I had braces, which I think you guys know. Obviously we cannot put windows here, or that would just be like, gooey, into the greengrocers or whatever that ends up being. So instead, we're gonna have to find some dentist paintings. So let's create a wall. Where are we standing? And I'm just gonna find like 3 different dental posters. But these are just going to be really good wall decorations, and hopefully they don't notice that we've just got the same paintings on both sides. As for the chairs, I'm going to make my hand chairs. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but this was like my favorite chair in 2023. And the storyline behind it is I went to a spa when I was on holiday, and they had these hand chairs in the spa. So right now he's just putting his finger on it. It's a very rude finger, actually. And then they were always like a vibrant color. So it really looks like it's being rude there. Let's do that.
And they always have like a couple of magazines, don't they? So we'll add them.
And I actually love that. This looks so realistic, guys. I forgot that mouth was there. And I just looked up teeth x-ray. I'm using that one. That's hilarious. So let's now move into the operating room. Well, it's not really an operating room as much as like, what do you call it in a dentist? Surgery? So these are gonna have slightly different wall colors with all tiles. So this feels like the perfect place to have an I need to stop saying operating chair. Now, there is a couple of ways we could do this. We could use a folding table, but we could also use like a reclining chair. And they always have that like sheet of paper. And once, guys, when I was at the dentist, like, this is so embarrassing. They left the room for a second. I thought they were leaving me to like give me privacy. And I thought the sheet of paper, you had to wear it. And I started like taking my top off and like putting this on, and she came back in and she was flabbergasted at me. And it's safe to say I really didn't want to go back to that dentist, but my mum made me. Anyway, traumatic dentist story aside, we're also going to use one of these pillows. We're then going to use a floor lamp, and oh, this one is good actually. But they normally have so much like everything truss on the ceiling. Do you know what I mean? Like these spotlights. I had a couple of months ago like a 2-hour dental operation thing, and these lights were literally blinding me by the end. Although they always have like that little sink, don't they? Where you like the little sink with the cup of water that you can spit into.
So all along here is gonna be like the cabinets and stuff.
And you guys always violate me for adding a fridge in here. You always say, why are you adding a fridge? Please, I'm gonna get violated.
Oh, we're gonna get violated. We're gonna
No, seriously, like, what is wrong with a fridge, guys? Surely some medicine needs to be kept cold. Anyway, in terms of medicine, I'm gonna add spices. I'm just giving you an herbal remedy. Wow, did you see that? That looks sick. I mean, I don't know why they have so many medicines. And I'm going to finish off with my very own sink over there. I'm sorry. That is a cool fridge room. And this doesn't feel unrealistic. Do you know what I mean? I feel like this is genuinely something that they would have. And then in here is not going to be like special. It's just going to be like a closet. And what I'm going to do is just paint these white. So if they made like a dentist job, then maybe you'd have to get changed before it. Now I'm going to make another 2 of these rooms. So I just sped that up. And while I was at it, guys, I also just added in the other reception rooms. So that just leaves one last room, which I think should be like the operating table. Like, if you're in here, it's disastrous, your mouth. Like, you have actually eaten so much sweets that your mouth is rotting from the inside. Ew, that sounds disgusting. Like, no hate if you have bad teeth, but if it is your fault, please just brush them. So although it looks the same so far, here is where we're going to be using the folding out table. This is going to be going in the corner. Actually, it's going to be going dead center in the middle. So I didn't do this in the other one, but we're going to add one of those glamorous glass tables. This isn't going to be for magazines. This is going to be holding scissors. We have a wrench in Bloxburg. Yep, it's going to have a wrench. That's going in your teeth, guys, if you don't brush your teeth. A screwdriver as well. And then, of course, we'll make that all nice and white so it looks more dentistified. So there we have it, guys. Building number 1 has now been inspired. Please ignore this top bit. Like, there's nothing I could do. Oh, sorry if I spoke too soon.
Excuse me if I spoke too soon.
But now, Bloxburg devs, if you're watching this, you can make this into a dentist. Next up, I want to do the big one. Now, I'm on Google. I'm going to look up 3-story cafe interior. None of these are 3 stories, mate. We could make the walls, like, tell a story. The bottom could be, like, the ocean. Okay, I don't actually want to do that. Maybe we could do... Yes, the sand texture looks more like water than the water does. It's almost going to be like we invited Picasso in here to do like a mural. And in terms of lighting, which is once again the geometric, but I'm going to add like 5 to 6 of these. Actually, maybe 7 to 8. And they're all going to fall down at like different distances. And that's actually light up this world like nobody else. Is it just me? I've already gone off the beach theme. Instead, we're now going for multicolored. This sort of looks like Oliver Bonus. Have any of you guys been to that store? It's like the new up-and-coming store. But I genuinely think this looks so Bloxburg-esque. And that's why I don't understand people saying, the new map doesn't feel like Bloxburg. It feels like Brookhaven. Like, yeah, at first, I did think it felt a bit like maybe Berry Avenue. But the more I've gone around it, it actually doesn't at all. Anyway, over here is going to be the counters where you order. And we may as well just use the modern ones again.
So we're going to use them wrapping all the way around. And I would love a barista job in Bloxburg because
we've just never had anything like that. So it would be really cool. Now, if this was to be a Bloxburg job, then they would need several cashiers. So we're going to have cashier number 1, please. Now, along here, we also need to add the display cabinets. Now, when these were added to Bloxburg, it was like the biggest update of their time. You would have had to be playing to understand this, but if you were playing back then, do you remember, guys? Like, you could finally store food, and everybody was storing it in, like, their basement. Rather than keeping your food where it's safe in your fridge, we thought it would be safer stored in our basement in these cabinets. And I personally used to make it my, like, life's goal. Me and my friend would go round, and we would start stealing people's food from their basements. I feel like we should add, like, a rope or something for the queue, otherwise it could just get a little bit too busy. So if we are going to be going for that fun, retro 50s diner. Sorry, I don't know why I'm literally sound like a flipping serial killer there. We're obviously going to have to use some of these chairs. So we're going to have some of them over there. We're also going to use the good old fashioned,
which basically is where you make some of them like a cute light stone gray, and then the middle ones we can make like an aesthetic pink.
So maybe this restaurant is known as being like the romantic one where you go on dates. Like, yeah, you can have like fun parties and stuff on the bigger tables, but yeah, it's known for its lovely dates. Oh my goodness, slay, another one. Done. So finally we have this. Now, what did I say? This was going to be a greengrocer's. What the hell is a greengrocer's? I mean, that probably is the easiest thing that makes the most sense in Bloxburg. Also, I have sort of been forgetting to add the back doors out of here. So they haven't really made sense in the other buildings. But in this one, I feel like out the back. Ooh! Whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry, I sound like a gorilla on steroids there. We need a garage door. And because we're a new grocery store, we haven't got that much stock. But there, I absolutely love that. I am going to be using the modern one again. And I feel like this is kind of a cuter cash register. So we'll just have like 2 shop attendants. I feel like this is a family-run business or something. And now really it's just time for the stock. And yes, we are leaving this milk out to spoil, guys. And in this hot weather, it looks like they've sold out a lot of their drinks. Woo! Business is popping. And then I literally have to check the all category, guys. What else? Maybe we could just sell some potted plants. And with that, guys, the lamppost. And with that, guys, this is the new and improved Bloxburg street. So do you guys remember when we were walking down the old one and now we're walking down the new one? Doesn't it just feel so much more full of life with all of the furniture inside? So we're going to get out my grand opening confetti and we're going to start with the cafe. Who's ready? Woo! That was the most underwhelming thing ever. Anyway, slow clap, slow sarcastic clap. As we go inside, I love it. What is that doing there? That is ruining my jam. But anyway, we've got the cash registers. So if this was like a Bloxburg job, obviously you'd be able to access it from the phone category. Gosh, look how slay my profile picture looks up there, though.
Wow, I'm hot.
Obviously, you can make the slushy machines. Oh my gosh, there's so many slushies. But how long is this going to take? I'm getting wrinkle lines doing that, mate. But I'll take a sweet strawberry slush. Thank you very much. And what? I am exhausted. To be fair, I do feel exhausted here. I'm so sweaty. Next up, we have the green grocers, which we just did. And I feel like this would be really cool. You know in Berry Avenue how you have to like actually buy ingredients to cook? I get people would probably be annoyed at that in Bloxburg, but I think it's quite a cool idea. Also, just for roleplay purposes, it's just a cute little downtown shop. And I really hope they add these with the school. And then this is obviously just some storage boxes. And then finally, I think this might be my favorite one, guys, the dentist. What's this even called? Clinic Dental. That even sounds fancy. So we have my seats over here, hand seat. And oh yeah, babes. Oh wait, this feels wrong. Why am I doing this with my hand? Why are people grabbing me in my thigh area? And then these are the operating rooms. Oh, we lie contemplating, doctor, have I got a cavity? And then hopefully I haven't got a cavity. Hopefully I've got perfect teeth. Oh yes, I have. In here are the bath robes. And then if we go upstairs, we obviously have the surgical room. Finally, oh my gosh, this is where you're going to be pinned down. So there we have it, guys. This is the original Bloxburg town, and this is my new version of their street. Let me know if you want me to do maybe a part 2 to this with some of the other buildings, and I'll see you all in my next video.